Welcome to the NerdBacon group. I'm your host, Jeff Roth. Issue number 1. Nintendo Online is out today. Is this a good thing or a bad thing for Nintendo being an online service for online gaming? David Cognac Jr.
It's terrible. It's all
wrong.
Horrible. Oh,
wrong. It's a nothing thing we don't know yet. We shall see if Nintendo knows what online is after this. Issue number 2. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is out. If Lara Croft sees her shadow, is there 6 more weeks of winter? Dave the Watchman.
yes, absolutely.
Wrong! There'll
No!
only be 6 more games just like this.
You're whipping through the podcast topics.
Issue number 3. Issue number 3.
It's like, I really want. Let's have a shorter show tonight. Well, you're just like blazing through everything.
Wrong! I'm doing this the proper way. Issue number 3. Is Jeff Roth the sexiest man on the face of the earth? David Kenny Upchuck II.
What? Who?
Wrong! Jeff is the sexiest being on the planet in the solarverse.
Wow. Well,
Thank you for watching the NerdBacon group. I just dated myself, I think, there with that.
Well, you dated me as what? Wait a second. You revealed my age as well because I got exactly what you were talking about.
Oh,
what is up,
God.
Kiko Path? How are you doing?
Hi, Kiko. Look, it was a rainy, crappy day here in the central states, so we gotta pep the spirit up a little bit here, you know?
I know. I was not ready for that.
Exactly. I didn't tell you.
Off guard.
You know, it's a shoot thing, you know?
Yeah. You're shooting all over the place.
Welcome to the NerdBacon podcast. We got Neo Saxon in the house for the first time in a long time. What up, Saxon? Everyone's showing up tonight. Welcome to the NerdBacon podcast here at twitch.tv/NerdBacon and Mixer.com Twitch.tv/Nerd. Where the hell are we? Twitch.tv/NerdBacon, Mixer.tv/NerdBacon, YouTube.com/NerdBacon, and Anchor and Spotify for your audio podcast needs as well. I am Jeff Roth, editor at NerdBacon.com.
And I'm Dave the Watchman, one of the proprietors of NerdBacon.com.
Wrong! Kiko. Thank you for the host, Kiko. I need to talk to you, Kiko, before I forget about something. Dave, how you been? It's been a week, my friend.
I've been all right. Lauren was gone for a few days, so just chilling at home, eating some big steaks as big as my face, playing a little bit too much Spider-Man. So yeah, wasn't terrible.
You can get addicted. That game, once you start, it's really hard to stop collecting things.
It really is. All I want to do is just like float around the city and find dudes to beat up and find some backpacks. That's it.
Oh, and Mexican Mofo, my friend Mexican Mofo in the chat. What's up to you, my friend?
Hey, what's up, dude?
And Spider-Man for me has the same thing that Crackdown did, where I had to just get all the orbs. Like Crackdown for me, like you had to get all the orbs, and I couldn't stop. I saw the shiny thing, I had to go get it. Spider-Man's that way too. I've got all the backpacks. I'm trying to get the pigeons. It's not spoiler. You just get pigeons. But
I just opened up that side mission.
Yeah, it's just, and I'm sure there's more that I'm not seeing yet. It's just you want to drop everything and get everything in that game. It's
just a really fun game to play. That's something that a lot of video games forget to be is fun. You know, they focus on creating an engaging world, an engaging story, and things like that. But sometimes some games forget to be fun. And I know we've talked a little bit about this last week about what our favorite game of the year so far is, like God of War versus Spider-Man. I'm kind of leaning towards Spider-Man. I think you and our guest last week, Brad from Old School Gamer Magazine, I think you were both saying God of War. Or maybe it was you and Justin.
Well, I was saying God of War. I think at this point it's kind of the space reserved for Red Dead 2. But we'll see. Yeah, I love God of War from a character perspective because I just love Kratos that much. But Spider-Man is I don't want to call it a surprise because we kind of figured it'd be great, but it's a superhero character-focused game that really should not be as good as it is.
I'm surprised with how good it is, actually. I was expecting a good game, but I wasn't expecting a game of this caliber. And I was kind of turned off after E3. I know I've talked about this a little bit before, but I was a little bit turned off after E3 because the combat looked way too similar to Batman Arkham Knight. And it is similar, but they've built enough things onto the combat system they used the Arkham Knight as a template for what they constructed in Spider-Man, and it
Sure.
just makes the game so fun. I just love it to death.
And like I was saying, this is the Arkham style game that Spider-Man needed. I mean, but there
Yeah.
are good Spider-Man games that before this came out. I mean, Spider-Man 2 was great, and Web of Shadows for me was great. But this is the landmark series that he really needed.
Right. This is just on a whole other level, and I'm just having a blast with it right now.
So how much further are you in, would you say?
I think the completion rate says 30% complete.
Okay.
So
You not past Act 1 yet? Because there's a big end of Act 1 thing that pops up.
no, I haven't gotten to that point
Okay.
yet.
All right. So I just got past that at a certain point, and
Okay.
things take a turn. So
I think I'm getting close to it, but I wonder how many acts are in the game. Well, probably 3 acts.
I'm gonna guess 3, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
Play
for
has
sure.
3 acts.
And then they're gonna put that new game plus mode out. But
Yeah.
let's get into what we're before we kind of get to the main thing. I had a couple quick hits I want to throw out there before we kind of get to the main meat, which is Nintendo Online becoming a thing.
Boom!
I was perusing the interwebs. I know. I don't know how much into Alan Wake you were. I remember that game being, influential to a lot of things that we see today. It's a very unique style game. Alan Wake is coming to television. A live-action series based on the atmospheric adventure horror game is in the works, with showrunner Peter Calloway works on Cloak and Dagger and Legion. Also to be writing the series. The game's creator, who is the Max Payne 1 and 2 face, Sam Lake, is the executive producer.
Awesome. There's always been rumors that Alan Wake was going to come back in some form, so it's cool to see it getting adapted into a TV series. I missed out on Alan Wake. I think that came out in 2010, so that was at a time where I was kind of just getting back into video games after being, taking a few years to not be as involved with it for a while.
I remember really digging it.
I heard it was really good at the time, actually.
Yeah, it's some really neat things, and Remedy being the big thing of Max Payne, really going to this kind of Twin Peaks style, horror. You use light to take down enemies, the flashlight, and he's a horror writer living his own story. Like, it was really cool. And they put out the second one, American Nightmare, which I own but haven't played. American Nightmare, American something. No, it was cool. So I want to see how they Twin Peaks it up for a live action TV show.
Do you think that they'll ever get another crack at an Alan Wake game? Do you think the boat has sailed on that?
I think as far as like the big budget stuff, yes. I think if they do bring him back, it might be like a download only, digital only style adventure.
What are they trying to bring him back in a Telltale Games style title?
I wonder if that will hinge on how successful this show will be.
Yeah.
Like if this show starts catching on, then you gotta imagine a video game project of some works will be in the works.
Well, that's really cool because you've got that, and then you also have The Witcher being developed into a TV series as well.
Yeah.
So for Netflix.
By now former Superman, he said he's not Superman anymore. Henry Cavill has said he's no longer the Man of Steel.
I don't know how I feel about that. I liked him as the Man of Steel.
I liked the look of him, but he didn't do any good movies. There's not been a good Superman movie since Christopher Reeves 2.
I don't think that was entirely his fault, though. The
No.
DC writers just, I don't know what's going on with them.
He's got the Superman look for sure. I like him as Clark Kent, but now we find a new one.
I think my theory for DC has always been, it's obvious that they wanted the success that Marvel Studios was having, right? So they tried to, they wanted to copy the success, but they didn't copy the thought process and the planning that went into making the Marvel Cinematic Universe so successful. So
Sure.
they rushed, I think they rushed some of their films out a little too quickly in some of their story arcs. Because you had like one Superman movie, and then you went right into Batman versus Superman. You didn't have a Batman reboot before that, did you?
Well, because they were kind of leaning off the Christopher Nolan trilogy, but then I had an ending to it. And then you got to restart with Ben Affleck, but at the same time, what continuity are you in? And yeah,
but Ben Affleck started off with Batman versus Superman, and that should have happened. You should have had one more Superman film, and you should have had at least a Batman film first, and then you could do Batman versus Superman, and then you could do Justice League. Well, you needed like an Aquaman first, and then Wonder Woman, and then you could have
Yeah.
done.
Is it odd that they do the big ensemble piece and then they highlight the individual ones because the Flash movie is still coming and
Yeah.
the Green Lantern Corps is still a thing. I think Cyborg's getting his movie. And
that's what Marvel Cinematic Universe was so brilliant about. They gave us these individual character films, and then they had the big crossover in freaking what's it called?
Well, that first Avengers.
Avengers, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Old man brain here.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you went off into more character pieces. You had a little bit of a crossover in Civil War, but you still had more character-centric pieces before you went back into Avengers 2. And then you had now they have these whole new generations of heroes and stuff that they're introducing. Right. So it just shows you how well thought out and well planned the Marvel movies have been, as opposed to DC, where they're like, okay, we can be really successful, put out a movie, and then have a big crossover event. You got to have that emotional investment with a long series of stories before you get to that.
And DC can do that. I mean, Christopher Reeve, those first 2 Superman movies were great. Then 3 and 4 happened, and
well, that was a different time back then.
Sure,
I mean, with
but the Nolan trilogy, the Batman Nolan trilogy, was amazing. Yeah. Like top to bottom was amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that was a completely different mindset.
Sure.
Before what we had now.
I think you're seeing more of a Warner Brothers influence on this new overarching thing, just saying, give us money, give us money, give us money.
Right. Copy Marvel.
As opposed to Marvel. And by the way, Captain Marvel trailer just came out, and I haven't seen it yet, but I am interested in that movie.
I saw it. I saw the trailer, and it looks interesting. I'll give it a go.
I want to see how because this is going to kick off, Phase 4? Is that where we're on now, Phase 4?
I think so.
Jesus.
And I haven't been seeing all the movies. I haven't seen Black Panther. I haven't seen Thor Ragnarok. I know I like Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Deadpool. I haven't seen any of that stuff.
Oh, Doctor Strange is awesome. Doctor Strange
really
was
good.
a gem for sure. Deadpool 2 was great too. Anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll finish it. I was getting out of those movies, and then Avengers Infinity War happened, and I was like,
yeah,
hell yes.
Yeah.
Great movie. So
now they're working on Spider-Man Far From Home.
I'll take it. I like that. I saw Spider-Man Homecoming, and I thought that was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that's really good. Michael Keaton is a good villain.
He was.
Yeah. So we got Alan Wake coming to TV, Witcher's coming to TV, they're working on Castlevania Season 2 coming to Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of a good time to be a fan of multiple media.
What other games would you like to see made into a TV show?
Oh, man. I really... Maybe not TV show, but you could take Mass Effect. Did you give J.J. Abrams Mass Effect?
Ooh. That might be very cool.
Give
J.J. Abrams Mass Effect, but keep that bastard Rian Johnson away from it.
Yeah,
you know. Hate that dude. Hate him so much. He's not brilliant. He's not. It doesn't take brilliance at all to take a sledgehammer to decades of story.
Would you want an anime Castlevania style show in more of a Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, Mega Man?
I think I would take Bayonetta. That would be a great TV show. I'll go kind of obscure, go blast from the past. I would like to see a Zone of the Enders anime.
Sure.
Yeah. I would just like Zone of the Enders to come back. So I know they got the remaster that just came out on PlayStation 4.
They got that, and then they put out a VR game, which I heard was fantastic. That I need to check out if that's the case.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm like that might make me sick. I have to see this.
I was a huge Zone of Enders fan though.
Yeah, that game is a lot of fun.
It sucks when Kojima left Konami. It sucked that we were losing Metal Gear games, proper Metal Gear games forever. But deep down inside, I was dying because this means Zone of Enders will never ever come back.
Well, and what it could mean too is that it takes Kojima off the reins, and this is what we're getting with Death Stranding. Yeah. This is kind of unhinged Kojima, which terrifies me as well as interests me. But So we'll definitely see.
What else would make a good TV show?
Boy, I'm sure I have a million. Like, I mean, Mortal Kombat. They did that with Mortal Kombat Legacy,
Oh
and
yeah,
that turned out pretty damn good. Do I want to see like a live action Street Fighter? Probably not really.
they had
Like,
that. Do you remember Assassin's Fist? Street
no.
Fighter Assassin's Fist.
Oh yeah, I do. Okay, yeah.
That was
I remember
great. That was
Yeah.
great.
Huh.
I would love to see more of those.
Like a Double Dragon, because they tried that live action movie way back in the day, and that failed with Scott Wolf, I believe, was either Billy or Jimmy.
Right. I forgot that they did a Double Dragon movie. Wow.
Yeah, I know it's bad. They also made a fighting game based on that movie, which was go figure, right? But no, I think a Double Dragon TV show would be all right.
Tekken should be an anime.
Everyone just throwing people into volcanoes. That's all it is.
Exactly. Huh.
And then Negan just pops out. I'm here too. Whap.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're playing games. Like Borderlands would be a great, anime
That would be cool.
as well.
That would be cool. You know what we're gonna get though? We're gonna get friggin' Fortnite.
Unfortunately.
Fortnite, the animated series. Everybody chicken dance. Or whatever dance they do. I don't know. I'm not in what the kids are into.
Take the L. Oh, God. Speaking of which, so do you want to start with a Nintendo squabble?
Yeah, let's do it. Today is the day the Berlin Wall-esque Nintendo Online service goes up.
Boy.
So, the things we were enjoying for free before, that is online play in games like Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, ARMS, and a host of others, are now locked behind a paywall. It's a cheap paywall, $20 a year, but still.
Right. Let's get into this.
All right.
So I have here the Polygon write-up. It's pretty, it goes bit by bit what this entails and the questions that we still have. So first of all, what is Switch Online? So it's Nintendo subscription-based online service for Switch games. Works with an accompanying mobile app, which probably people should have thanks to Splatoon 2. It's a free app for iOS and Android. The main feature of Nintendo Switch Online is for multiplayer games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and ARMS, and we are assuming Smash Ultimate as well.
Oh, yeah.
I will say this already, not Fortnite. I'll get back to that in a second. It was free, but as of September 2018, which is September 18th, Switch owners have to pay to play those games online. There are two big selling points for this. The ability to play a library of Nintendo Entertainment System games, which at this point you should already have about at least 5 copies of, which will be updated on a continuing basis and have online capabilities, which is neat for NES, and cloud storage for save data. I'm going to get back to that. Nintendo says that you will have to check out either its website, the Switch eShop, or the game's packaging to see if a Nintendo Switch Online subscription is required. But the majority of Nintendo's own games will require the service to get into online multiplayer. So if it's a Nintendo-based game, it's going to need your online subscription.
Right.
Right. Nintendo says the Switch eShop, registering and managing friends, screenshot sharing social media, the Switch parental controls, system updates, and the updated Nintendo Switch news feed will not require the online subscription. So you can still use the eShop. That's they're not blocking that. You can still give them money.
They're not going to block you out from spending more money.
Right. The Switch Online app is required for in-game voice chat. Nintendo still does this thing where you can't talk in the game because of stranger danger. But you have to use the online app on your phone or devices for in-game chat.
Cumbersome.
Yes. The app also offers some special features for certain games. Right now, the only game to use it is Splatoon 2, which will offer you some battle stats, and you can also buy, stuff for your character using in-game currency. It's not microtransactions. It's you can purchase in-game clothes through that app, which is kind of nice. I like that in Splatoon 2. I kind of like seeing my match scores and stuff on my phone. That's kind of neat. Cloud saves. Is Nintendo Switch Online the only way to back up save data? Yes. We've all wanted cloud storage for our Switch console since launch, so it's a good thing the service the service will provide it, but there's no free offline option to back up save data from the system's internal storage. You must have Nintendo Online to have your cloud save. Will all games use this? It appears the answer is no.
Yep, Splatoon 2 is one of them.
Not every game will work. Again, I'm reading this off of Polygon. Some games, including the upcoming Pokemon Let's Go, appear not to back up the data to the cloud. eShop store pages for Let's Go, Splatoon 2 Starter Pack, Dark Souls Remastered, and Dead Cells all note they don't support that. So it will tell you before you buy it that it does or does not support the save data cloud backup. And why not? They might use them for unfair reasons, according to Nintendo. If I forget to renew my subscription, what happens to my cloud save? If your subscription goes inactive, your cloud saves are lost. Like it is gone. And there's Nintendo did not state whether cloud saves would be restored upon renewal or if there's any sort of grace period. We don't know.
They are scrubbed.
So what about the NES games? Which ones are available to play? Well, funny you should ask. Each one will support some sort of online multiplayer, including the ability to play cooperatively or competitively with friends, which is kind of neat. That's pretty cool. Which, by the way, we just found out that Controller 2 controlled the ducks. So, did you figure this out?
We knew about this.
A lot of people just went...
Well, I got to keep my mouth shut on that.
It's okay.
I'm gonna decry a lot of people.
Some NES games will simply let Switch owners share their screen with someone else or let them pass the controller back and forth. It depends on the game. Now, there are 20 that will come out when the service goes live. They are Balloon Fight, Baseball, Donkey Kong, Double Dragon, Dr. Mario, Excite Bike, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Ice Climber, Ice Hockey, The Legend of Zelda, Mario Brothers, which is the arcade Mario Brothers, Pro Wrestling, River City Ransom, which, yes, Soccer, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, Tecmo Bowl, Tennis, and Yoshi.
My mind isn't blown yet.
Yeah. River City Ransom's on there. I'm happy. Do I have to pay extra to play these games? No. They are included as part of your subscription.
Ransom.
Do I get to keep the NES games forever? Does not sound like it. Nintendo will only let you play the upgraded games so long as you're an online subscriber. You can download them and play them offline.
Miyamoto just laughs at you for that question.
A year subscription costs $20. You can also subscribe for 1 month for $4 or 3 months for $8. There's also a family membership program, which allows a Nintendo account member to join up with as many as 7 other people to access the Switch online service. The option to create a family group is now available on the Nintendo account website, and appears you can add anyone to your family whether or not you're related. That means that all 8 people can split the $34.99 cost of the year membership to all the people, getting a year's worth of service for less than $5 a person. It is going live today. A week-long free trial will be available on Nintendo eShop starting today. The catch. The eShop will undergo maintenance in order to prepare for the launch, which means you may not actually get playing until tomorrow. The eShop will be unavailable and will be out of service for at most 3 hours or until 8 o'clock Pacific time.
I think Twitter reports are coming in that it's already live now.
Is it live now? Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's a real kind of NerdBacon. Neon Saxon, you're part of the NerdBacon family. We claim you, all right? We just claim you. I'll eat those words later, but we'll claim you. But yeah, that's kind of a rundown of what Nintendo Online is, what we know about it, what we don't know about it.
We've known this is we've known this is coming since the Nintendo Switch reveal event in January of 2017, but they've been very, very vague about it. It was supposed to launch in 2017, and then they pushed it to early 2018, and then finally ended up with today's date here in September.
Right.
I think part of the big problem... Hey, what's up, Jared? I think part of the problem for Nintendo on this one is that they've been so quiet and almost secretive about what Nintendo Online was going to be prior to launch.
Right.
We didn't really get many details until, a little bit earlier this year. We got some details, but they were so sparse that people were kind of under the impression that, oh, well, there's got to be something else to this because this is really bare bones, right?
Right.
There's got to be more than simply, $20 a year and some free NES games. And then we get close to the launch of this, days before the launch, and we finally realize what I had been telling you a couple weeks ago.
That's all.
That was it.
That's it.
We know everything. So I think there's part of the backlash is that there's a letdown because of all that secrecy. And I think Nintendo should start learning a valuable lesson that maybe their secretive nature is becoming counterintuitive to their public persona here. The thing that's getting me, I hate the idea of having to pay for something that we were getting for free.
Sure.
If they were creating dedicated servers for their online service, like PlayStation Network or Xbox Live, then that would be one thing.
Right.
But they're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the same thing you've been doing. Now you have to pay for it. Nothing has changed on the back end. All Nintendo is doing is saying, give us money now. They're basically holding your games that you've been playing for ransom. And that is why I'm so down on this service.
Right. And at least they could have softened the blow a little bit by kind of what Humble Bundle does. If you subscribe to them, you get 10% off of games in the store.
Right.
If Nintendo came up and said, hey, if you're an online subscriber, you get 10% off eShops site-wide.
And they kind of alluded to that in the Nintendo Direct and on the online portion of the Nintendo Direct. But then they said details are coming at a later date.
Right.
So here we are, the launch of this service, and they still haven't given us 100% of what it is that we're buying into.
Right.
And to me, that's atrocious. To me, that says that Nintendo doesn't care whatsoever about... Well, it's quite apparent. Nintendo doesn't care about building an online infrastructure at all. All they care about is like finding the best way to charge you money for the least amount of work. And that's what Nintendo Online is all about.
Yeah, I think the issue here is not so much that all of a sudden, hey, what was free, you pay to me now. It's the fact that they were so Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. Never mind what's over here. Just be upfront with us. Say, hey, we need like what we're doing with this. Like Microsoft charges you $60 a year. Right. Sony charges you $60 a year. We want to get on this too. Like we can't afford to be putting these services up for free. Okay, fine. But be upfront about it. Give us more than just here's some NES games. Because guess what? Your fan base already has these games.
Right.
At least 4 or 5 copies of them yet.
Right.
Already.
I remember when a bunch of those games were given away for 3DS owners who had bought the system, within a certain time period. They were given away as part of the ambassador program. Yeah,
and if this is the replacement for Virtual Console, no, fail.
Yeah. We really don't know what's going on. Is there going to be a Virtual Console? Because it sure doesn't look like it at this point.
Yeah, at this point, I gotta say no. Unless there's some other device comes out in the near future that will replace this or something. And maybe because they're ramping up to the N64 Classic, and then they have the GameCube Classic or whatever. Just like have, the ROMs available or the stuff available to put physical stuff out there. But I don't know. And it's what's weird. What's even weirder is that not all Nintendo games require this. But third-party games can pick and choose still. So it still can be free.
So what's the criteria for third parties? How do they get to be on the free list?
Be Fortnite.
Exactly. Be the biggest game in the world. And we don't want to alienate people, so...
Yeah, and that came out today as well. So Nintendo will launch the pay online service, but fans of Fortnite, don't worry, the online Battle Royale game will not require an online subscription. So Nintendo said some games, being more vague, such as Fortnite, can be played online without a Switch Online membership.
Level Up Justin, in reference to that unknown question mark box that they alluded to during the Nintendo Direct presentation, he says, so there's one thing we don't know. Here's the thing, though. We should know that by now because the system, the service is now live.
Right.
People are having to pay real world dollars into this system, so we should know everything that we're getting with this at this point.
Yeah, if you can spend money on it, you should know what you're buying.
To me, it represents a cavalier and arrogant attitude on Nintendo's part to not have all the details out yet. It's just, to me, it seems like they're making things up as they go along. And maybe that question mark box is, this is our reward box when we see what the fallout is going to be. So if we don't see the sign up numbers going our way early on, then we'll put something good in that box. But
yeah, the question mark box is their TBD.
Exactly. If everything's going well, though, watch that box just go down the memory hole.
I don't think it's cavalier as much as they just went, well, crap, we need this to do something. Here, like it was them. Box. It was them just throwing things together last second, realizing they don't have the resources to do stable online, which they haven't been able to do, and say, well, we need money, so here.
Yeah, and why even do the online service if you cannot create a stable background? It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's asinine, really.
But the thing is, it's going to sell because Smash. And like people are going to buy online because of Smash, because you're going to need this to play Smash, and
right.
Smash will be the biggest selling game, one of the biggest selling games. So with that, hand in hand, you better get Nintendo Online. The good thing about this is that it is so cheap. I mean, we're sitting here talking about this. If Microsoft did this, crucify them. Nintendo, I don't think they get a pass necessarily, but it's less of a blow because it's $20 a year.
Right. They've got a lot more of a fervent fan base, almost cult-like following that is willing to play as apologists for Nintendo. Right. And that seems to be the main talking point in that apology is that, hey, this is only $20 a year, guys. You have to pay $60 a year for Xbox Live Gold and $60 a year for PlayStation Plus.
Fine, but we had to pay that day one.
Right, we had to pay that day one for both of those. In Xbox's case, Xbox Live was the first console. Well, it wasn't the first. Sega Net was the first, but it was one of the first online console networks, and they were giving us a lot with it. And now Xbox Live is a great value because they give you 2 free games a month. Same with PlayStation Plus. Plus, they give you a ton of discounts on different things. Actually, it's 4 different games a month between both services.
Right, and then they factor in if you want to go into the Xbox Game Pass, just sort of bundle it in with that sort of stuff too. Like, there's a great deal with that. I think the great deal here with Nintendo is there really isn't a great deal here just yet.
Right.
And I think what's going to happen is that it will spike when Smash comes out, but at a certain point, even they will go, we got to cancel this. Like, even that Smash fan base, we just go, I don't want to pay for this.
Right. They're relying on the devotion of Nintendo's fan base, the low price, and I think Nintendo is overvaluing their NES Classics stuff.
Yeah, at this point, like, nostalgia's great and all, but when you do it every time you put a console out, enough's enough. Like, we get it. We appreciate your history, but we get it.
Let me hit one more point real quick, and then I want to read some of the comments in the chat.
Sure.
Regarding the cloud saves, it's ridiculous that they're charged. That's part of the service. That's something that should be free.
Right.
Microsoft does it for free. Sony does charge for it, but at least they don't axe your saves immediately if your subscription lapses. You got 6 months or whatever to renew. Yep. Here's why it should be free on Nintendo's end. After the launch of GameCube, Nintendo moved their manufacturing facilities out of Japan and over to China, over at the Foxconn facility.
Mm-hmm.
So starting with the 3DS, and on, they've been all manufactured in China, and the build quality of every single Nintendo machine has dropped dramatically since that time. Nintendo, back when you and I worked retail, you remember offering the extended warranties to anybody for any system that you sold, and there were certain systems that you're like, no, I better push this warranty because I'm seeing a lot of these come back defective. PlayStation 2s, we'd see enough of those come back defective.
Sure.
PlayStations for sure.
Xbox 360 red rings.
Oh yeah, but you didn't really feel the need to push that product replacement plan with a Nintendo system. Why? Because you never saw a Nintendo system come back defective. Sure. It was an equivalent of a red heifer being born. How's that for a news reference? It was the equivalent of a red heifer being born to see a Nintendo system come back defective. Remember, you'd see news reports about how somebody left their Game Boy out all winter outside in the snow and the cold, and that son of a gun still worked.
Yeah.
Ever since they moved out to Foxconn in China, the defective rate for Nintendo systems has skyrocketed. I have not bought a Nintendo system since they moved to Foxconn that has not gone defective. I had an internet problem with the DS Lite. Had to send it back. Luckily, all your saves are on cartridges, so that's not so bad. Had a power supply problem on my Wii. Had to send my Wii back. Lost all my saves. The Wii U, something went wrong with the gamepad. Had to send it back. Comes back. Lose all my saves. So, luckily, that hasn't happened with the 3DS yet or anything else. And I better knock on some wood.
Better find some wood. There you go. Yeah. Yep, there you go.
But just from my own personal perspective, Nintendo's build quality has gone way, way down. And now you've got the Nintendo Switch. You've had all the reports of like the cracking issues because of overheating and everything.
Sure.
So there's another instance of where the build quality for a Nintendo machine is not what it used to be 20 years ago.
Right.
And that is why Nintendo should be offering cloud save services, so when their piece of crap machines go bad, you don't lose all your saves. And that's my long rant.
There's that one. The short answer is it's 2018.
Yeah, it's 2018.
At this point, everyone has a version of it. Steam, I know Steam has better supported for this.
Right.
But God, any computer you have Steam on, you put your account on it, there's your game. Most of the time. Obviously, it doesn't work every single time, but
I understand that, these things cost money, so
we
got to feed into that cost. I'm fine with them rolling that into the online service.
Sure.
It's just, it irks me a little bit as a consumer to know that their build qualities have gone to hell, and for them to be charging for this insurance to offset something that's gone horribly wrong with what they've been doing. Anyway.
Right. Hit the chat there real quick, would you?
Yeah, let me scroll back up here.
There's Infinite Knife talking about Dreamcast. I hope Infinite Knife is praising Dreamcasts and not crapping on Dreamcast, because we're going to fight there, Jared.
I saw enough Dreamcasts come back defective.
I don't care. It's the best thing ever.
I'm not saying it was a bad system. It just, there were
at some point, we all had to turn them upside down just to get them to read.
Okay, let's see. Level Up Justin never said we shouldn't know. In fact, it should have been announced prior to the subscription. Absolutely. Jared, I think negative fallout will cause some serious backlash, and Nintendo will change something. They gotta
at least add something. I mean, they gotta. At some point, they'll go, this isn't enough for our consumers. They'll do some sort of, we're sorry, here's this for free, or here's a free game, or something like that.
Right. He also says they can't just rely on people willing to pay to play Smash Brothers Online.
You're right. You're right.
Level Up Justin. Question then is, who's getting it and who's not? Well, I'm not rushing out to sign up for it. So
I probably will, just because I want to play Splatoon 2 some more, and then when Smash comes out, I want to play that online. So I will at some point, but I've not really played a whole lot of Switch games in a while.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of fallen off for me because I have so many things ramping up now with Spider-Man, with Forza Horizon 4, with Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, we're starting to get, and with Fallout 76, we're starting to get to the big stuff at the end of the year. None of them are Switch, except for Smash. So I think once we get closer to holiday season, then I'll pick it up just to see how it handles Smash. But they're kind of on thin ice.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're going to throw my Switch away. I'm just saying I'm not signing up for their online service day one. I really want to see what those week one numbers are going to be like for subscribers. I think that's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So that was all part of last Thursday's Nintendo Direct, and you can see the archive of my reactions live on our YouTube channel over at youtube.com/NerdBacon. Did you get to take a look at the Nintendo Direct at all?
I was kind of getting some of the cliff notes and basically how it's the Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
That's really cool, though. I mean, it's kind of cool how they can shove all Final Fantasy, like 7, 8, or 7, 10.
7, 9, 10, and 10-2 are coming.
That's insane how those can actually... That's to take 7 on the go. That's kind of insane.
Well, that's not the first time. We had it on PlayStation Vita.
Okay.
Beautiful Vita.
To take it on the go, which some people actually have.
I got a Vita.
I had a Vita.
Ah.
Wow. I had a Vita Loca.
No, it's very, very cool to see those games come over, especially Final Fantasy IX, which is my favorite Final Fantasy of all time. It's amazing if you haven't played it. Final Fantasy VII coming over is very touching because this was the game that caused the breakup between Nintendo and SquareSoft, and to finally see that game arrive on a Nintendo system after 21 years is something truly unique and special. Also cool that Final Fantasy XII, the remastered Zodiac Age, is coming to this Switch.
Yeah.
And then you had like a Chocobo's Dungeon. You had Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition coming, which is the subpar spin-off cliff-noted version of Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see all that stuff coming over to the Switch.
But the Direct was just kind of that. It was just mostly online, but also, hey, here are a bunch of ports of games coming to Switch.
Right.
And at some point, it's like, okay, we get it, but we need exclusive to Switch things that aren't just ports of old games.
I really thought that we would see development ramping up for the Switch after 2017.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was such a runaway success, and Nintendo was firing on all cylinders. It seemed like we had some good third-party support, and then 2018 hit, and it feels like we've just been holding our breath waiting, but now we're starting to let that breath out because nothing's coming up to the surface here.
Right, but starting next year, I mean, we've got Luigi's Mansion 3. We've got Yoshi's Crafted World. We've got Animal Crossing. It's happening. You shut your face.
Animal Crossing.
You don't
Animal Crossing
do not finish
sucks.
that sentence. Oh my god.
Sucks.
I'm gonna hang up on you right now.
Animal Crossing is not that great of a game.
Your face.
Here's the problem with Animal Crossing. Once you really dig into the core of Animal Crossing, the message of that game is that the point to life is in mindless consumerism. That's it. You go and you live in Animal Crossing, you get a job so you can get money so you can buy stuff, and then so you can buy a house, and then you put your stuff in the house, and then all of a sudden, oh, I ran out of room for all my stuff, so now I gotta get more money to get a bigger house so I can put more stuff in there. That's all it is. That's all it is. And then eventually, once you buy enough stuff, you get a statue. Whoop-de-freaking-do. That is not my idea of a good time. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not arguing against capitalism or consumerism. I like both of them very much. Thank you very much. But in the real world, there's more to life than just that, you know? I don't like Animal Crossing.
I can't wait for Animal Crossing.
Cool. I hope you have fun with it.
I'm
You
going to
heartless son of a bitch.
just maybe just to spite you.
Oh, Dave, I'm having so much fun.
Oh, this
Ooh,
game is so
I
good.
just got a new table for my house. I can't wait to go back to Tom Nook tomorrow and see what new inventory he has.
God, don't get me started on that. I'm shaking already. But by that token, do
But
you
here's the
also?
thing, I lived that life. I was so into Animal Crossing when it came out in 2002. I was so into it. Dude, I was evangelizing that game to everyone that I worked with, every
Sure.
customer that came in. I was like, no, Animal Crossing, this is going to be it. This game is going to be so cool. There's nothing else out there like it. I bought that stupid e-reader. You remember that for the Game
Oh
Boy
my
Advance?
God, yes.
Yeah, I had one of those, dude, and I had a
All
bunch of
right.
Animal Crossing card packs. So
Now I see why you hate it.
I was into this game, all right? I was into it. So I'm
I
not speaking out at like some guy looking in the window like, huh, I don't like the sausage they're cooking. No, I was in there cooking. I had my hands in that sausage. My hands are
Somebody
covered
make sure you
in
clip that on the
grease.
Twitch chat.
Yeah.
No, I played a lot of the 3D, like the 3DS one. What really grabbed me? Like I didn't play the DS one a whole. I played the DS one a little bit. I did not play the GameCube one. Did not play the Wii one, the City Life one, but the 3DS one I got way into.
Mm.
And Infinite Knife here, played Animal Crossing, no joke, every day for 2 years straight. Because it just takes you a little bit of time just to do a little bit of chores or whatever. By that same token, do you also hate Harvest Moon, and do you hate The Sims?
Never played The Sims.
Okay.
I've played a little bit of Harvest Moon, but Harvest Moon's kind of cool because it's RPG-ish,
Sure.
and you're growing crops and everything like that. So I should play more of that game and contrast them now between Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon because I
Should
see where you're going with this guy.
play some Stardew Valley. Yeah.
I would like to play some Stardew Valley. That's one
I
game I'm very interested in, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet.
I have Stardew Valley, and I haven't had a chance to really get my teeth into it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Animal Crossing, great. They're also going to put Isabelle into Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that's was not exciting to me. I was not thrilled at all with this direct. I was thrilled with Luigi's Mansion 3 getting announced.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, it makes me happy.
The new Deus Ex Machina, that mech combat game that's coming out next year.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah,
okay. It's like Deus Ex? What? No, okay, I know what you mean.
Yeah, that one looks really cool. But other than that, it's cool that Katamari Damacy is coming over.
Yes, that's we need more Katamari in our life.
But
They're
I was going to say, I'm worried that Nintendo seems to be relying on ports of mobile versions of games, because that's what World Ends With You is going to be. It's the mobile version, Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, Civ 6, and City Skylines. Those are all the mobile editions.
right.
So I'm worried that they're relying on that, plus ports of 10 to 15-year-old games. That's getting.
I can see what they were trying to go with, just saying, hey, if you want everything instead of playing on like three different like your phone and then your computer and then something, just buy them all on the Switch. What the heck is going on over there?
There's a little tsetse fly flying around.
I keep seeing that because I see a flash and then you just move your hand. Just freaking out over there. But no, I can see what they're going with.
Animal Crossing that much.
Instead of playing all this stuff on your phone, your iPad, your computer, separate, they have them all in one thing. So I see what they're going with there, because basically the Switch is a powerful tablet. It's basically it's
right.
an NVIDIA Shield. But yeah, I think they need to rely less on ports and give us more of the stuff like Luigi's Mansion, like Animal Crossing, like
right. And don't get me wrong, it's awesome that those ports are coming out, and if they have to rely on the mobile versions, then so be it. But my problem is that seems to be all that's coming. You can't base your entire system around that.
Right.
And it's just, it seems like a night and day difference over the can't fail swagger that they had in 2017 to, hey, don't comment that we're walking through town without clothes. I'm the emperor of 2018.
Well, maybe they're kind of holding back because something could be coming out next year.
And
Um,
yeah, I'm wondering about that. I'm wondering if we're just seeing major third party development moving over to Switch Pro. I'm wondering if we're seeing Nintendo kind of loading up. I always had the theory that maybe they were worried that Smash Ultimate wasn't going to be ready on time, and that's
right.
why it had a December date. But you know what? I've also been saying that the reason that all these companies are front loading 2019 schedule is because they're worried about Google and Apple getting into the market in late 2019, or at least something else coming to market in 2019. So I just had a thought. Maybe Nintendo they obviously didn't want Smash in 2019 because they wanted something for Christmas. But maybe the reason that they waited so long, for that December date is because they're getting it as close to 2019 as possible without missing Christmas.
Sure.
So it's still their way of front loading 2019 schedule.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Business.
Yeah.
Businesses. They also announced the Sega Genesis Classics coming to Switch, which has been out on Steam for quite some time. Came out on Xbox and PS4. Will include a bunch of old school Genesis games. I won't read them all, a lot of them. Will include all three Streets of Rage games. Haha,
Ooh.
topical. Both Toe Jam and Earl games. Haha, topical. There's some good stuff there. So yeah, the direct was full, and this is kind of my problem is that you know put out directs when you actually have content. I think if you this one didn't have much content as far as hey online's out, pay us
Yeah.
money, and then Final Fantasy, and then like
And I'm wondering if that's them capitulating a little bit to online fan demand. There's the expectation that there was going to be a direct in September, so I'm wondering if they just, got as much as they could together and put the direct out and really didn't have
yeah,
enough, or
I don't
what the
know.
deal was on that. Because yeah, it was really lackluster, save for, like to me, Luigi's Mansion 3 was a great
Yeah,
announcement.
yeah, that was the show stealer. You got to imagine like the next one is probably the Smash one. Next one had to be Smash
Right.
focused, right? Because we got to announce that last mode. We've got at least a couple more characters to announce. You got to imagine some stages and stuff. So I'm seeing that flying around your face, and it's
Yeah, it's
really
so annoying.
unnerving. It's really unnerving. So you got to think the next direct is probably the last one of the year until maybe around Game Awards.
I don't think they'll have a direct around Game Awards, but they'll definitely have an announcement or two at Game Awards.
Yeah.
Which Leaky Pandy, I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, or them on Twitter, but Leaky Pandy was giving some hints that one of the announcements at the Game Awards would be a new Smash character. It'd be like the first DLC character announced.
Ah.
So there's speculation on that. They were what Leaky Pandy was saying on that was that it was going to be the character that would be coming would be from a game that will most likely be nominated and probably win for the genre that they were nominated.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was kind of odd.
Where in the world is?
So I had two thoughts.
Only
Maybe
two.
only two. I was busy at the time.
Mm.
Thought number one, maybe this is the megaton announcement finally of what everyone has always wanted. Goku in Smash. Because
Hey,
Goku in Dragon Ball Fighters, that'll be nominated for Game of the Year. Probably
sure.
will most likely win. Or I'm
Well,
sorry, Fighting
for
Game of the
fighting
Year
game. Yeah.
has a great chance of winning. I think Soul Calibur 6 will be its major competition.
Yeah, dude, it's coming out next month.
I know, right?
Oh my god.
So there's that. And then the other thought that I had, and this was a crazy thought.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be awesome? Wouldn't it be megaton, like mind melting so that it oozes out of your ears? Amazing if in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at the Game Awards, the character announced is none other than Spider-Man.
Ah.
Because Spider-Man will definitely be up for a couple of awards.
Sure.
Yeah. What do you think? Would you like to see Spider-Man in Smash? Now, I'm not saying that there's a chance in hell that this is going to happen, because there really isn't. But let's dream. Boys, girls, everyone, let's dream a little bit. What if Spider-Man was in Smash?
That would be awesome. How about, let me counteract you with this.
Uh-huh.
Another game that could be up for an award.
Yeah.
What if Kratos ended up in Smash Brothers? What if Kratos ended up in Smash Brothers?
I would be shocked.
Yeah.
I would be more shocked at that happening, because with
he can't kill anybody, obviously.
To me, Spider-Man seems more feasible because they would have to go to Marvel to get the license.
Sure.
And Marvel would probably be a little bit more apt to work with Nintendo. Sony, I don't think, would work with Nintendo.
But Sony owns their video game rights. Which is why it's a PS4 exclusive.
Oh, yeah, for Spider-Man.
Yeah. So they gotta go through Sony at some point.
I don't know what the loophole around that could be.
So I think part of the deal with getting Sony, or getting, because Spider-Man was owned by Sony.
Right.
Period. Right. And then Marvel made a deal with them to get him back in the movies. And that deal was, you can get him in the movies, but we keep his rights in games.
Okay.
If I remember that contract going down that way. So I think at some point, if they want to get Spider-Man there, they'd have to work with Sony in a video game capacity.
Well, what else? What else do you think could be something nominated in its genre this year? Spyro comes out this year, maybe.
I can see. I don't know why I went up to this.
I don't know why we would wait for the Game Awards for that, though.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, it's gotta be something.
There was speculation that it could be a Dragon Quest character, but I don't think that would be megaton enough for the Game Awards.
I don't think that plays to a big enough audience for that.
Yeah. It's for the Game Awards. It's got to be something pretty big.
What if it's Waluigi? What if the answer is just Waluigi? Because people have been wanting that for years and years, to have Waluigi in the game. And what if it's just Waluigi? Fine to appease the fans, saying, "Shut up, we got him. Here you go."
You don't think Waluigi makes it before, like, as part of the base game?
I really hope he does. But on the off chance he doesn't, I think that it depends on if he's in the full game. Then he should be. But if not, then he might be the first DLC character.
I could see that. I think Waluigi makes it in at some point, but
I think the narrative comes true. I think I forget who was telling me about this. Where I think maybe it was Saxon saying the fireman character.
Yeah.
It might have been somebody from the NerdBacon crew who was telling me about the idea where Waluigi was Master Hand the entire time.
All right, I'd buy that.
Like that hand was Waluigi the entire time, but that'd be a cool little narrative to play on that.
That would be cool. I'd be into that.
Yeah. Diva.
I would love Diva in, like, top 5 fantasy bookings for characters that could be in Smash Ultimate. Diva is definitely in there.
When we were talking to people over at Evo, like the one guy brought up Double Dragon, either Billy or Jimmy Lee, and I went, "Yo, yeah, put him in that game, please." There's some Double Dragon stuff in there.
What if it's Lara Croft?
Mike Hagar. I was thinking that too. Like, yeah. What if it's Lara Croft?
I could. At
this point, I don't care. Like, it's hard. It's tough to say, but at this point, 3 Tomb Raider games that are kind of the same, I kind of don't care anymore.
They're so good, though.
I know they're good, but I'm getting 3 of them. I'm like, I didn't care to begin with. Okay, these are fine. I don't really care about the character. I don't care about the story.
Exactly. That's the
just
thing.
more Uncharted.
Yeah,
Fortnite
character. I could see that. I could see a Fortnite character making it in. If the Fortnite characters had names, I might care a little bit more.
What if they had a stage, though? What if they had a Fortnite stage?
That would be sweet.
And kind of like how they had a Mario Maker stage in the Wii U one that would like change as the match went on.
Yeah.
So what if you did like that and you like randomly would build forts during the match?
That would be cool. I think you're going to see the same thing, though, if Minecraft gets in.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that comes in the base game.
Oh,
Minecraft
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
But let's go to Tomb Raider. Let's talk about Tomb Raider.
Yeah, you played some of it. You played about a good
10
minutes
of it last night.
Yeah.
After I put Spider-Man down finally. I really like the 10 minutes. I mean, it opens. No. Seriously, it opens fast. I think the graphics, the graphic quality, like the stuff that they're putting on the screen, at the very beginning of the game is definitely more advanced than what it was in Rise of the Tomb Raider.
So you're playing on PS4, correct?
Yeah, I'm playing on PS4 in this one.
Okay.
So I really like those Tomb Raider games. I loved the 2013 reboot, one of my favorite games of the past few years. And I liked Rise. I didn't like it. It was missing something, it felt, over the reboot in 2013. I didn't like it quite as much, but I'm eager to get in. I mean, it's like you said, they're fine. They're not like mind-blowing Game of the Year candidates, but they're still just good, solid games that are fun. And I like the story that they are having. I like the story has been following an arc throughout the entire 3 games. So it's like a blockbuster movie franchise that you almost like the Mission Impossible movies. They're fine.
They're all really good. Oh, not all.
They are really good, actually.
MI2 was kind of hit or miss, but
Right.
I heard that the recent one, Rogue Nation's the recent one.
It's so good.
It's really good. Oh,
It
Fallout.
is so good.
Fallout was
Yeah,
the recent one.
Fallout.
Yeah.
Rogue Nation was good, but man, Fallout was so good.
I really enjoyed Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, me too.
That's
I
good.
like them all. 2 sucks, but I like them.
Yeah, 2 sucks, but it's a Limp Bizkit song. But anyway, I guess I don't care about Tomb Raider that much, just because I never really cared about Tomb Raider back then. Because they were bad games back then. Let's be real, they were bad games.
They
back
were.
Then. They were.
And I wasn't into them either. I thought they were extremely overrated. 20 years ago when they were first popular.
I think what kind of killed the new reboot for me was I've kind of been Uncharted out at this point. Uncharted out. And
see, that's the thing. I had missed that series.
Uncharted is so good. And I think
Yeah.
Nathan Drake is such a strong character that if I'm playing Tomb Raider, I'm basically playing Uncharted. And I don't want to demean the quality of the game, because it's not.
No, you're
not the same
absolutely
game.
right. You're absolutely right.
Like I would rather traverse the jungles as Nathan Drake than Lara Croft. Not because of a male-female thing. Let's not get that twisted. But the way that Naughty Dog has set Nathan Drake up as a character and their storytelling is superior in every way. And they made Lara Croft. I know the idea is like the origins of the Tomb Raider and how she becomes a Tomb Raider. But I'd rather just have the wisecracking Indiana Jones than deal with this girl who doesn't know what's going on and she's scared for her life. I'm like, just give me Nathan Drake. I want the good. I want the Indiana Jones story.
That's an excellent point, and I think maybe that's why I am enjoying them a lot more, is because I haven't played through the Uncharted games. I've played through the first one, but I haven't played through 2, 3, or 4 yet. So I think if I had been approaching it from your perspective, where I had actually gotten a chance to play the Uncharted games first and then went into Tomb Raider, I probably would be feeling the same way as you do about the series.
And we're kind of at that point too, where we're seeing so many of the same kind of game as far as third-person action character stealthy. We're seeing with Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War a little bit. Even Spider-Man to a point is a third-person character action adventure style game. At this point, I just need to tap out, and if it's a franchise I already wasn't fully sold on, this isn't selling me on anymore. It's just more of that game. It's taking the formulas that work and putting them into a good practice. They're good games, but I just don't have the reverence for them. I don't have that love of them because I'm tapped out at this point, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah, they are starting to get a little bit derivative.
They
We
feel
really
very,
noticed
very
that,
similar.
especially with the Days Gone
Yeah.
demo that we saw. I think it's been over a year now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they didn't have it at E3 last year. They kept Days Gone far away.
And how Last of Us 2 is a lot of that stuff too, and
Right,
how
right.
poorly that showed at E3 for on our end. But I wonder how much of it was that showed poorly, or how much of it was what is going on with Sony right now. We were already
Yeah,
perturbed,
I think
so
I think they're I'm saying way too much, and now I'm really self-conscious about it.
but you gotta get into shape, man. You got your comedy show is this weekend.
I
Your
know.
opening night is this
Oof,
weekend, man.
I'll be there
You
sometime.
gotta get your head in the game, man.
Oh, let's see. Raymond NRC watching on our YouTube channel says, I bought the online service, but when I enter the code, it says the product is currently unavailable. What does that mean? I am
I
not
knew they
entirely
were doing
sure.
some maintenance on the server side today. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
reporting some maintenance on the server side, which might affect it until. Plus, I think this is day one, and everybody's hitting the server right now. Everybody's hitting the service at the same time, so Nintendo is doing some back end work. So it might be down until tomorrow.
Yeah, I would
They're
just
saying
wait a
so.
little bit, Raymond. But if it's not available by tomorrow, then definitely call Nintendo's support desk.
Yeah, I think right now it's day one for a new online service. They're doing some back end work, so I wouldn't freak out just yet.
Right.
It's them. It sucks that it has to happen on like this should be done by now, but
You would
it's
think they
not.
would have done
But
it like overnight in the wee hours of the morning.
yeah, so it's just yeah, it's not broken. Okay, it's broken, but they're working on it. Believe me.
Yeah, it'll happen. I was looking up Twitter to see if there's any chatter about it yet.
Anyway, while you're doing that, a special version of the Nintendo Switch is releasing all Super Smash Brothers fans soon, because there is a console decorated. So the Switch dock is decorated with. This is a whole new console, by the way. So it's part of like a Smash bundle. The dock is littered with characters. You also get a Smash Bros. Ultimate download code. The special console will be available starting November 2nd. On the same day, the classic GameCube controller and adapter will be released, but not included in the bundle. But yeah, there'll be a new Switch console coming out for on November 2nd.
That was to be expected. I mean,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
they're gonna
they're
cash in
definitely gonna
hard on
do a
this.
Smash bundle, of course. They've got the cool Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu bundle that's coming out as well. Oh, and they also just announced a Fortnite bundle as well.
Yeah, I got a Fortnite bundle.
It's the
I
same Switch, it's just in a Fortnite package with a bunch of online currency.
Yeah, with a free game. Yeah, you get that's like a bunch of V-Bucks.
Not worth it to me.
But speaking of Smash Brothers, somebody who we saw playing Smash Melee over at Evo this past August has announced his retirement. Armada is retiring from solo competition. Um, he's been playing for almost a decade now, but he said he's retiring from solo play. He will still be doing duos, but he said he's basically he's done it all.
Yeah, it's Armada, right?
Yes, Armada is retiring. Yes.
Well, that's pretty big. What can you say about a game that's been out for almost 20 years, though?
Yeah, what's there left to do? I mean, you have your main, you stick with your main, you use your main how you've used your main for the past X amount of years, and then you win tournaments, and then at some point you hang him up, and he's going to. he's uh, motivation. He says here he put a video out, but he's the cliff notes here, saying that the motivation issues plagued him throughout his career. They are now much worse than before. Sense of dread and physical sickness by entering new tournaments, and just got tired of that. But he's basically just said, like, I've done it all. I've been there, done that. Nothing left to do.
Dude is the best in the world. He's got
Yeah,
nothing left to prove, so just play for fun, and we'll see you when you're ready to start entering Smash Brothers Ultimate competitions.
he said he'll continue to stream frequently. He'll update his YouTube channel and he'll attend Melee tournaments. He's not done. Like, he's still going to play at some point. He just won't be as competitive anymore and just take a step back.
He's sort of going the zero route where he's taking a step back for a few months. And I'm sure we'll see the both of them back in the ring at some point. Armada retired before and then came back.
Yeah, he'll do a run-in or something. He'll run in at a CEO or something and say, I'm here! Boom! That's how I enter all rooms. I'm here! Boom!
I wonder what the Smash community breakdown is going to look like 1 year from now, after Ultimate has been out. Will Melee still be as prevalent as it is right now, or will people finally have moved on, or at least started the migration process?
I think the migration process will be forced by Nintendo. Like, they're going to say, stop it. Like, thank you, but stop it.
Right. They might go the route of forcing tournaments to not stream Smash 4 or Melee.
Yeah,
because they used to do that back in the day. You used to not see Melee streamed at all. Nintendo would put the hammer down and say, "No, you can't stream our games."
And they will here because and they have every business right to do so. Like, they're not supporting a game that old. They're doing the here and now. So here's the here and now. Here's our current product. Support this. We appreciate this. We'll acknowledge this. But this is the flagship. This is the spearhead here.
Well, I see that point. They do have that right to encourage people to play the new game. I don't think they have the right, though, to dictate what is streamed and what is not streamed. That is up to the tournament organizers and the fans. If the fans choose to play Melee, then by all means they should play Melee. I hope, for heaven's sake, that they finally move on from Melee and everybody gets into Ultimate, and that's like super strong and we don't have this divided community anymore.
Well,
but that's the fans' choice, and it's up to the tournament organizer. The tournament organizer has to put on a good tournament, and they have to have the games that are going to bring people to that tournament.
The fans are choosing to not have Roman Reigns as Universal Champion, but guess who's Universal Champion?
That's different, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a little bit different.
The similarities are there.
If Nintendo was the one that was running all of these tournaments, then
sure,
that would be more of an apt analogy. But I get what you're saying.
Agreed. Okay. What do we got here? Assassin's Creed Odyssey will stream to Nintendo Switch. The second game to do so after Resident Evil 6.
I hadn't heard
7?
that. That's interesting.
Assassin's Creed. Let me pull up the article here. Also, I was reading here. Assassin's Creed Season Pass will include a remastered AC3.
How did I miss that? That I heard.
Anyway, here the Switch can. Okay, let's see. Resident Evil 7. Sorry. This will be Japan only.
Ah, got it. There's the catch.
So, yeah, sorry, I didn't read that part. Odyssey is not coming to the Switch over here, and we're not going to be seeing streaming games on Switch anytime soon over here. But in Japan, I think they're going to start testing it out over there.
Right.
We might be seeing some of that stuff over here, perhaps with the launch of a Switch Pro.
Definitely with the Switch Pro. That's really interesting, though, that Ubisoft is taking that route. But Ubisoft has also been very vocal about how they believe that the future of gaming is going to be streaming.
Yeah. They're forward thinking, man, I tell you.
They sure are.
Where'd I have that Assassin's Creed 3? Okay, yeah. The Odyssey Season Pass will include a remastered Assassin's Creed 3.
That I had heard.
It will also include a remastered edition of the Vita game Liberation.
I see a lot more people calling for a remaster of Final Fantasy VIII. And to them I say, did you play Final Fantasy VIII? Why would you ask for its remaster?
I would rather we finally get the remaster of FF Tactics.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
I'd rather have that right now.
I would just like them to get done with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, before we start asking for future FF games, how about we finish the one that was promised to us?
Yeah. What, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't 5 years ago. It was
10 years ago.
no, when was that? It was 2015. It's 3 years.
It was the good E3.
Anyway, I think it's about time to... Oh, go on.
Yeah, so what? Let's hit on what we've been playing. I know you said you've been playing some Shadow of the Tomb Raider, some Spider-Man. What else have you been dabbling in?
That's really about it. It's been all Spider-Man all day.
Okay. I got to play a good chunk of Onrush. So this is the game that's been touted. This is the Codemasters games. It's been kind of touted as Overwatch meets racing.
Sure.
And it's available now on Xbox Game Pass. So if you have that, it's just part of the bundle. And that came out. That's like a soft launch. I go, what is this? Oh, hey, it's just part of my Xbox now. So it's a lot of fun. So there's no like real racing involved. It's more just, if your team scores the most points or controls some King of the Hill zones or goes through a certain amount of lives, does like crash style kills kind of deal.
Sure.
The online community is still strong in that game. They're doing a SummerSlam tournament right now, an event tournament. Does not involve Brock Lesnar, which is great. But no, it's actually a lot of fun. And if you have Xbox Game Pass, obviously you probably already have it. But this game is awesome.
I've always wanted to give it a try, but I don't have Games Pass, and it's been kind of expensive, hasn't it?
It had been, but I think it's on sale at least on Xbox at like $30 as late as like last month, before finally getting on Game Pass. So, but I think right now it's back up to $60 if you don't have Game Pass.
Yeah, that's a little too rich for my blood. I've got
I agree.
$20 burning a hole in my pocket, and I really want to go buy Speed Brawl, which just launched today. It's a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up, but it introduces insane elements of speed. So it plays like a mixture of Final Fight meets Sonic the Hedgehog. Looks absolutely crazy. I'm all about this game. I really want to try this out. So that...
Yeah, the more I see of it, the more excited I see you get for it, the more I want to play it.
That money that should go to Nintendo Online is going to Speed Brawl.
Well, I spent $20 on the Dying Light, Bad Blood, Brutal Royale early access.
That's a mouthful.
It sure is. Also, when it works, it's kind of interesting. It's a neat take on Battle Royale. I have issues with it connecting to people because it's a peer-to-peer game, and I think it might be on my end, my router end, but it's just having trouble finding games.
Huh.
Now, it's 12 people, not 100. But it's 12 people dropped in, and it's Dying Light, so the parkour stuff is still there. The zombies are there. It's a lot of fun to just kind of travel around the city. But the idea is you collect a certain amount of samples from zombie nests. There's small nests, medium nests, and big nests. Then you level up in the match to get more health, more attack power. You find weapons laying around, you pick up, you can upgrade them. Of course, you will run into zombies, and you'll run into other players. After a certain point in the game, either you reach a certain point of the samples collected or a time limit, the helicopter comes. There's only one seat on the helicopter.
Oh.
So once you get to the helipad, everyone will know that you're there. And, of course, they'll come try to hunt you down. So the idea is to get there and maintain position to get that one seat on the helicopter. It's a really
sort of like
neat...
a King of the Hill type thing.
Kind of.
Okay.
It's a really neat take on Battle Royale. I thought it was kind of cool. Like I said, I've had issues trying to get into a match. And not because people aren't playing it, but because I think the servers are kind of bunk. It could be on their end, it could be on my end. I want to do some more research on that before I try to do a Steam refund. But when it does come out, it's free to play. It's $20 now to get the Founders Pack, which includes some weapon skins and a face mask. You can play it right now. It'll come out later for everyone free to play, as long as it makes it, because the battle royale genre can be kind of cutthroat, as we're seeing with Radical Heights and Realm Royale losing so much of its player base, and I tried playing PUBG again. I don't know if I can do it anymore. Like, I'm all for interesting takes on this. I heard the Black Ops blackout mode was getting really was getting well liked. The community was digging it.
I was going to ask you about that, whether or not you had a chance to play it.
I didn't have a chance to. I think it was this past weekend was for the open one. For people who didn't pre-order, I didn't get a chance to. But from what I was watching some on Twitch, and kind of the general feeling of people was that it's a neat mode, and this is making me lean towards picking this game up even a little more.
Interesting.
So and now we'll see how Battlefield 5's turned out. Like, we'll have to see what a big name company can do with this, if it will catch on.
I will be very interested to see the Battlefield 5 numbers, the sales numbers.
Yeah, again, the beta was fun. Like that, people like Battlefield. I think they'll like Battlefield 5. There's some nice quality of life improvements in the beta that got me excited for Battlefield 5. Especially since I have EA Origin Access Premier. Okay, I know, I'm talking long, but no, because I have the Access Premier, I already have Battlefield 5 Deluxe Edition ready to go on my library. I just hit go when it comes out in November. It's kind of nice. So.
All right. Well, now.
Yes, let's take this thing home, shall we?
What do you got coming up gaming-wise for this week?
Oh, boy. Well, I'm just going to try to stream tomorrow, but tomorrow is the big Minnesota Wild preseason game here in central Iowa.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So I'm going to going to that. And I'll actually be in Minnesota this weekend for a Wild preseason game up there as well. So, Twin Cities, what up? I'm about to be all up in the Twin Cities this weekend. Gaming-wise, I'm going to be probably playing some more For Honor. I put a lot more hours into that game, because that game is dope. I'll be playing more of that, probably playing more WoW. I want to finish Spider-Man before Red Dead comes out, because I want to devote all my attention to Red Dead Redemption 2, and I want to get through Spider-Man and beat Red Dead 1 before Red Dead 2. So I'll be kind of focusing on that, but we'll see. I want to play more Dead Cells as well, but we'll see.
I've heard so many good things about Dead Cells.
Dead Cells is way cool.
For me, I will be playing more Spider-Man, because I too want to get through that game before Red Dead comes out. I will put some more time into Shadow of the Tomb Raider so I can have a more detailed report next week, besides the first 10 minutes are cool. And I will probably pick up Speed Brawl tonight and give that a whirl.
You feeling that now? You feeling good about that? Yeah.
Feeling it.
Yeah. Well, next week we'll discuss what happened to us this week, and we'll have some more to talk about on next week's gaming podcast. Also, we may have a future announcement coming up about the podcast future.
Oh, yes.
So we'll hopefully have that for you. Now, you can find me on Twitter at Jepheroth, JEPHEROTH. Also on Twitch by the same name, twitch.tv/Jepheroth. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, some weekends. Late stream tomorrow because of the hockey game. But, man, hockey season's back, man. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Also, hashtag Bear Down. The Bears won last night. Thank God. Go Bears.
I don't care about the NFL. Sorry.
I know you don't. Hockey is the sport that matters.
Hockey and baseball. We got some Cubs playoff baseball coming up.
Yeah.
All right, you can find me at Dave the Watchman on Twitter. You can also find me on NerdBacon.com, the flagship site for all your gaming needs. But I think that's about all I got for tonight.
Don't forget, if you're not following yet on Twitch or on Mixer or on YouTube, make sure you're hitting that follow button or subscribe buttons to make sure you know when we go live. Because we do more than podcasts here on these sites. We do a lot of gaming-related things on these sites, but not by just us, but by an entire community of awesome people. Some of them turned out tonight. Much appreciated y'all who tuned in from the NerdBacon community. Also, audio form, Anchor, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Pod everything.
That's right. That'll all be up tomorrow morning. It should be up.
So, as always, thank you for listening. Again, I am Jeff Roth with NerdBacon.com.
And I'm Dave the Watchman with NerdBacon.com.
And we will see you right back here on your streaming platform of choice. It's next Tuesday, same bacon time, same bacon channel. As always, make sure you game tasty. We will see you next week.
Good night, everybody.